for example, this year, one of the producers that I've been buying from, like for the last 10 years, since the prices increased so much, he decided to sell the whole crop for a trader
Hmm.
for a very high price, but not
Hmm.
as high as I would have paid at the end of the process, the buying process that I do.
Yeah.
I saw that he would have gotten a little more from me, but he didn't
Right.
have. Oh, he made his
He
choice.
needed the cash.
It was a good choice because he didn't know. I mean, we didn't know how the coffee would come. So
Right.
he made a decision and he took that risk and he sold very well. And
Great.
and I and I have to just be sorry for not having his coffee this year, unfortunately, because it used to be amazing. I mean, it is amazing. I hope next year I can buy it from him again. And because I don't think that the trader is going to keep up paying those prices.
The introduction to regenerative coffee farming workshops are now available on demand in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. For coffee producers, the workshop is available for just $10, and for everyone else, it's $20. Led by our incredible professors, the workshop is packed with practical knowledge and strategies to help coffee farmers and the entire coffee industry adapt to the challenges of climate change, rising costs, and market demands. If you're a business owner, this workshop is a great and affordable way to inform your employees about the challenges ahead while also supporting Map It Forward. Head to mapitforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the description to purchase the on-demand version and start your journey towards a more sustainable coffee future today. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 2 of a 5-part series with Isabela Raposeiras from Coffee Lab in Brazil. We are talking about understanding Brazil as an origin country. And what we really mean by that theme for this series is that we want to understand the misunderstood things about Brazil and the difference between Brazil as like the place that produces, most of the coffee in the world to more of the nuance about that. And in the last episode, we were talking about what people get wrong about Brazil as an origin country. And Isabela started telling us a story that got her into some very kind of hot water when she started buying or moving into buying the specialty coffee from this particular region in Brazil. And it had to do with co-ops and blah, blah, blah. And I cut Isabela off because I want to give her the room to tell the whole story. So in this episode, we're talking about Brazil's internal specialty coffee market. And this is a really great place to start that conversation. So Isabela, why don't you tell us the story?
Well, when I bought my roaster and I wanted to roast coffee, blah, and I went to after the coffees that I knew we had in Brazil, but they weren't being roasted. And there was in a specific region that in 2003, I was passing by with some other producers from other region. And then we stopped in a very small cooperative, one of those that really was doing a nice job trying to help quality enhancement and all the production and helping producers. It doesn't exist anymore. Wonder why. And
You're a gangster. I love it. Anyway, go ahead.
I've seen so much. I've seen too
I can
much.
fucking tell.
Maybe.
Go ahead. Well, you and I need to have dinner at some point.
And then we stopped by there, and then the cupper that was responsible for the coffee in that region and the whole quality program there, he's a congressman now, and
Wow.
he put up a table for us to cook, and I was blown away by what I cooked. I had just been in Boston, I guess, that year or something like that. I don't remember if it's Switzerland or Boston, 2003. And then it reminded me so much of Kenyan coffees. And I couldn't believe what I was having. And I never forgot. And I remember that day exactly when I looked at the cup and said, this is going to show the world that we are able to be as good as any of the best.
Mm.
And in some way, in my opinion, what's been happening. And then in 2009, I just was eager to get coffee from that region. And I got 3 samples, and 2 of them were like amazing as that one from 2003, even more. And then but I bought from a trader. I didn't buy from the producer because I got it from a friend that worked in that trading. And then I asked to meet the producers. I wanted to meet them because I only buy direct.
Mm-hmm.
Not that coffee, of course, unfortunately, because it didn't belong to the producer anymore. But I needed
Oh.
to, yeah, I needed to meet them, and so I went there. Mountains. It's a very very cold place, so it's the average annual temperature is very low, which makes coffee amazing. And it's mountain. It's really steep. And it's full of rocks, and it's really like Central America. If you look, you're gonna be like, whoa! It's really Central America like the environment and the terroir, so on. And then I met the producers, and I remember exactly the first time I met Genildo, one of them, and then he came out of the coffee plantation, and he was barefoot. I look at that because harvesting coffee, guys, is not something nice. It's not. It's
No,
not
there's snakes.
CrossFit.
It's just snakes.
It has there's snakes, there are insects, there's hard sun all over burning you. It's
Mm,
it's hard.
harsh.
And then he was barefoot. I asked, why are you barefoot? And he said, because it's too slippery. And he doesn't have a shoe that can hold on to the
Can hold
yeah. So
grip.
and then I said, look, I bought your coffee from whoever, and I need to go on buying your coffee. It's one of the most amazing things that I've had in my life. And then he said, but I'm cutting my trees off. I don't want to work with coffee anymore. So we're selling the machines, the processing machines. And I'm cutting coffee, and I'm going to plant only avocado and beans and potatoes. I don't know the name of that potato. It's specific. Anyway, he was giving coffee up because what he got paid that year didn't even got close to the cost he had. It was a very low market. That period was really low. The market was really low. And then I said, look, you don't know me. And then I told him what I did. I told him that I was in São Paulo roasting coffee, and I had been in coffee for X years. Well, and then I told him, please, the only thing I want you to do is the same thing you did this year. I'm going to pay you 4 times more what you got. 4 times. It doesn't matter what you do. And then he looked at me like if I were crazy, right? It's like, what is this?
People like us get that a lot. It's fine.
And you're a woman.
We're used to it now.
Yeah. And especially being a woman, right? And then and I said, look, I know it's hard to believe that I'm going to pay you 4 times C market for whatever you do, but we can go to an official place, and then we can do right now a contract. And I guarantee you that no matter what you do, I'm going to pay you 4 times more. But what if the coffee gets phenolic? Because it's a very humid place. And at that time, not anymore, but at that time. And then the coffee, of course, ferments phenolic very easily. And then I say, the risk is on me. Just do whatever you did this year. I guarantee you I'm going to pay you more 4 times. And then we did a contract in a notebook paper.
I love it. I love
I,
it.
s- I still
You
have
still
it.
have that contract? Oh,
Yes.
awesome. Amazing.
And then, okay, I left there. Of course, he was suspicious. And then I went to meet the other producer. And this story, besides the bear food, his food was not there. Um, besides that, the story was the same. It was exactly the same. He was cutting the trees off. He didn't want to do anything to do anything with coffee anymore because it was too expensive, and he wasn't making his. I mean, he was awesome for surviving out of coffee, right? And
Mm.
then I said the same. We did a contract that year. I had to visit them 4 times, and it's far from São Paulo for where I am, and I had to build up this trust, right? Because
Mhm.
people all around would keep telling them she's not going to pay. Nobody pays that. You're crazy. But
Mm.
then when crop came, I paid even more because it was the most amazing coffee that I still
Wow.
today have cupped in Brazil.
You're still chasing something
I'm
as
still,
good as
yes,
that.
that crop exactly for those two producers. It was just unbelievable. And then I paid even more. And then that's when the problem started, because there are some traders and producers and that used to buy coffee from them, paying very low price. And of course, reselling it for a lot more abroad. And then that year, they had to pay already double.
You look so sad about that.
Poor things.
But
I
this is
was
how we
really,
positively affect like the whole ecosystem, the whole in a particular area. This is the kind of thing, like Cup of Excellence is trying to do this kind of thing around the world, which elevates the price of some producers so that it elevates the price of all the producers that are producing at that kind of quality, right? There are specific people like you. You know, someone who did what you're doing at around the same time, like early 2000s, Mark Dundon. Mark Dundon would go and he would find a coffee that he really liked and he would tell the coffee producer, name your price. And he'd pay the price. And it was unheard of. Mark's coming on the podcast soon, so for the first time in a long
yeah,
time, which is going to be really great. But it's this kind of behavior
she's
from
amazing.
people who are causing good trouble. I call it good trouble.
Right.
But it's the people who are causing the good trouble that usually end up in trouble themselves because they're creating problems for people who are creating bad trouble.
But Lee, if I were to ask them how much do you want for this coffee, they would have asked for so much less.
Less. That's what they've been taught is the value of their product, which is why he wants to cut down the trees.
So when every year I have a score based price list with them,
Mhm.
and every year it raises. This year, of course, it rose a lot more. And
Yeah.
of course, yes, it's hard for us to, I mean, for Coffee Lab, for our cash flow, of course it is. But I'm very happy with this price explosion,
Increase. Yeah.
increase. Yes, I'm really happy with that because this is going to be more fair for the producers in a long term. It's going to bring everything up. But you know what? This producer, this Renildo, the most amazing coffee that I've tasted in Brazil so far,
Mm.
he gave up producing coffee, and that's the most beautiful thing because like 5 to 6 years after we bought that first lot, or a little more, I don't remember, he decided that he didn't want to grow coffee anymore. But that was a decision made out of freedom. of choice. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not because he will pay his costs anymore.
Desperation.
Exactly. Just because he wanted to follow, and him and his family, they wanted to follow another way, other path. And that's the most amazing, beautiful thing, you
Mm.
know? It's
And that was the one that was barefoot, right?
right.
What about the other one? Did he keep producing?
Yes, he's one of the best producers. We've seen him work in Brazil. People, he produces like 80 bags a year. That's his
What
production.
do you want to give him a shout out here? Or do you want no one to know about him so that they don't
No,
come
it's
for his
Joselino.
coffee?
People know about him because
Okay.
people actually visit him. Cup of Excellence people
Okay.
visit him. Everybody visit him because he's very small
Nice.
and he's very careful and he's amazing. And people visit him and people flirt with him. And
Everyone's trying to buy his coffee.
oh yes, yes. But yeah, and he's been actually dating other buyers. I think we have to be polygamy.
Polyamorous.
Yeah, polyamorous in coffee. Of course, it's a very small production, right? I could try and ask for exclusivity from this producers because it's really like very tiny production a year. But I don't think
Mm,
that's healthy. That's not healthy for me. That's not healthy for
no.
them. I need our relationship to be long and healthy, and
Yeah.
I need it to be long. I think it's good to have long relationships. Once one of our customers gave us like 1 star in this a Google thing because
This Google thing.
yeah he had been here like 8 years ago, and it's the same producers. How come you have the same producers? That was the best compliment of my life.
Oh wow. I love it. What did you respond to that?
Of course, I said, we're very happy to have the same producers and to keep them and to keep this
Yeah.
relationship going. This is good for coffee, for us, for them. It's like a very healthy commercial relationship, and that's something. And I say it's a commercial relationship because we have to be careful with our um, tendency to think that we're saving their lives.
Right.
We're not. We're not. It's very, I mean, roasters in the world, we're not. Just by paying fair price, really, really fair prices, we're not um, saving anyone's life, but our own business,
Yeah. People
right?
tend to forget that without the producer, we're the one who are like, it's our businesses that are in trouble, not theirs. They can grow
Exactly.
many other things. If
Right.
we're in the coffee industry and we're buying coffee, we're the ones who are, uh, we're at risk, not them.
But Lee, you know what? There's an expectation from these small producers when you start buying and paying more. I had a one producer that he came up to me and asked if he didn't know me. He knew already that I was paying high prices in that region, and he just came to me and said, "I want to sell for you. I want to sell coffee to you." I said, "Great. I I I want to try your coffee." And I usually at that time I used to advance a part of the money for them to already to use in the
Yep.
crop
Pay there
and to
for the inputs.
harvest. Right, yes.
Mhm.
And then and he said, "Oh, can you advance some money so I can harvest?" And I said, "No, because we don't know each other very well. Right? We need to
Yeah.
date, and then and then to see if we get married." But then, okay, we began to relate, and then, but that year he called me and he asked me if I could buy his daughter's dress for a pageant.
Hmm.
I felt so abused.
Yeah.
It was
I
nothing. I mean, if
love
I
that you're talking about this. Yeah. Go on.
because yeah, because the price of the the dress was very cheap. It was not about the money, but I felt abused because just because I was paying high prices, he thought he could ask me for
Manipulate you.
yeah, for the dress. And we didn't have a long relationship. I hadn't bought his coffee by that time yet. And then I said, Look, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't think it's fair. If you still want to sell your coffee for me next crop, I'm going to buy if I like it. And I'm going to be very happy if it tastes the same as I did. I tasted this sample of yours. But that's what we can do now. 6 years after that, 6 years later, he's already selling me coffee every year. And then they were here for a week to see what happens to their coffee when it gets here, and to just to have barista classes and roasting classes. And they spent like a group of producers spent 6 days here. At the end of the 6 days, we had a happy hour and beer and blah blah blah. And then he came up to me and said, "Oh, Isabela, remember that yearly event that we have in the beginning of the harvest in that region?" I said, "Yes, sure. I wanna ask you how much you charge for a talk in that event." I started crying in front of him. I said he didn't understand. I was so emotional because look at the difference of relationship between the beginning of our relationship when he asked me to buy a dress for his daughter, and 6 years later he was asking for how much was the value of my talk. So this is what commercial relationship should look like. It's like, I'm not here in helping you to make, you're selling your products, you're making your own decisions about your farm, your coffee and your machinery, and I'm doing mine about my coffee, and then we see if we match. And that was some gain, I think, in the way he relates to his own business.
It's almost as though it's such a powerful statement, what you're saying here. It's one, it's all about dignity, first of all. But second of all, what you're saying is that you, in the ecosystem that you're working in and in the relationships that you're looking at building, they have to be adult. And that the risk needs to be spread amongst both parties, and the respect is going to be given two ways. You're not here to save anybody. Your business is not charity, and you expect the people that you're doing business with, well, not expect, you're looking to set the standard that I'm going to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated, which is as a trade partner.
Right.
Not as a charity.
Exactly, because people, I see some big companies like building them schools and in the region, and pay the price of the bag.
Say it louder for those in the back, Isabela. Just pay them for the fucking product. Like, this is the part that blows my mind, right? Pay for the product. Allow them to have the dignity that they deserve to decide how they're going to spend that money. And some people will tell you, no. Like, it's not that simple. I'm sorry. How is it more complicated than that?
It is simple.
Ask somebody who's produced a product, what's the product worth? And then it's your job to figure out if you can afford it or not. If you cannot afford it, leave it for somebody else, or try and figure out how to afford it. Like, 2025 is changing the rules for everybody.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what you're saying, and a big thing, Isabela, that really like made my heart sing in our conversation, in our preliminary conversation, is that I feel that what you're bringing to the industry in this podcast series is the example of how to do business with dignity that doesn't pity people. And you're unapologetic about that. what you're saying is I can either be in this pity party with you, or I can have the confidence in you that we're going to do great trade together and we're going to last longer together. And I'm not going to abuse you or make you feel like charity or anything like that. I'm going to pay you really, really well. But you have to hold up your end of the bargain, and I promise to hold up my end of the bargain.
It's business.
That establishes long-term trust.
Yeah.
But business, in inverted commas, doesn't have to be heartless. You're not being heartless by saying that. What you're saying is like, listen, I've got a business that I have to run. You've got a business you have to run. Let's be partners. Let's make sure that we hold up each other's end of the bargain so that we can move forward together like as solid partners. You do what I need from you, and I'm going to do what you need from me. And we're going to keep growing together.
If we want to.
And if you cross that boundary, right? If you cross that boundary and start doing things that we didn't agree on, then we're going to have a conversation. But let's do trade.
And it's, for example, this year, one of the producers that I've been buying from, like, for the last 10 years, since the prices increased so much, he decided to sell the whole crop for a trader for a very high price, but not as high as I would have paid at the end of the process, the buying process that I do.
Yep.
I saw that he would have gotten a little more from me, but he didn't have. Oh, he made his choice.
He needed the cash.
It was a good choice because he didn't know. I mean, we didn't know how the coffee would come. So he made a decision, and he took that risk, and he sold very well. And
great.
And I have to just be sorry for not having his coffee this year, unfortunately, because it used to be amazing. I mean, it is amazing. I hope next year I can buy it from him again. And because I don't think that the trader is going to keep up paying those prices.
But that's the beauty of business, right? Like by the time this comes out, the series with Yozo, people will have seen that. And we talked about this analogy. You will have seen it. In the future version of yourself will have seen it, although this version of you hasn't. But we talked about this idea that like building businesses is a creative endeavor, right? It's like creating an artwork, and you have to make a million different decisions to figure out what your artwork is going to look like. Somebody else faced with exactly the same decisions is going to make different decisions to you and a million different decisions to you, and their artwork is going to look completely different. And this is business, right? Yes. And so the way that you approach the fact that he decided to sell someone else, I have heard 50 other people talk about producers who have done the same thing to them and they lost their shit, right? Like, and when you lose your shit at a producer for making a decision that takes care of himself, he's probably not going to offer you, or she's probably not going to offer you that coffee again next year. They're going to like... You have to accept that we're in unusual circumstances and this is the way that it goes. And next year we'll be here and you will figure it out.
Sure. And I don't think there won't be a lack of roasters looking for his coffee.
I love it. On that, we have touched on like a story about specialty coffee and how Isabela has interacted with coffee producers who are growing amazing coffee. As we go into the next episode, we're going to keep exploring specialty coffee in Brazil, but we're going to look at it from the lens of like, why is specialty coffee so important to the Brazilian economy, the environment, and the social dignity of Brazilians? And how we'll start the next episode is by laying out like, what does specialty coffee in Brazil look like? So join us for the next episode. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.